The Apple Power Management Demon is still throttling your iPhone's performance right now, and France's fraud watchdog can't stop it. Somewhere on your phone, buried in a process most owners will never see, a piece of code is deciding how much power your battery is allowed to deliver. It's called the Power Management Demon, powered, and it's been quietly capping performance since at least 2016. Apple confirmed it in 2017, after users on Reddit and independent benchmarkers proved older iPhones were slowing down the moment new models launched. The company called it a safety feature. Regulators called it something else. And 3 years after France's consumer fraud agency, the DGCCRF, fined Apple €25 million for it, the exact same throttling mechanism, under a new name with a new toggle buried in settings, is still running on phones being sold today. Officially, Powered exists to protect you. Lithium-ion batteries degrade. As they age, they can't deliver peak current without the phone shutting down unexpectedly, a real problem Apple documented after 2016 when aging iPhone 6's units were crashing mid-use. The fix, Apple says, is dynamic performance management. When the battery can't keep up, the chip throttles itself. No disclosure, no notification, just a slower phone. Apple framed this as engineering, not deception. But the mechanism they built to solve a hardware problem became something else entirely. A lever Apple controls, invisibly, on every device it makes. And nobody outside Cupertino has ever seen the actual source. Here's the part that should bother you. The throttling isn't triggered only by battery health. Internal documents surfaced during the 2020 U.S. class action settlement. The one that cost Apple $500 million, showed the algorithm also factors in temperature, charge cycles, and something Apple calls performance state, a variable nobody outside the company can audit. Independent researchers at Geekbench proved iPhones lost up to 50% of processing power without warning. Users thought they needed new phones. Many bought them. Apple never disclosed that a fully healthy battery could still trigger throttling under the same code path. The audit trail exists. Apple has never released it, not to users, not to a courtroom, not to a regulator. And that's where the DGCCRF came in, France's answer to planned obsolescence, a country that actually made the practice a criminal offense back in 2015. They opened an investigation, they built a case, and in 2020 they won it. €25 million. Apple had to post a notice on its French homepage admitting the throttling existed. It looked like a real defeat for the company. But here's the part nobody reported. The fine wasn't for the throttling itself. It was for failing to disclose it. The mechanism was never ruled illegal. Apple didn't have to remove the code. It just had to add a sentence and a toggle. The regulator wanted the practice stopped. Apple gave them a settings menu instead. And it's still running. The reason no one can find the actual throttling code isn't incompetence, it's architecture. Apple's power management system lives inside iOS as a closed, signed binary, compiled directly into the operating system kernel extensions Apple controls exclusively. There is no public API. There is no way to decompile it without violating Apple's software license agreement, which itself carries legal teeth under the DMCA's anti-circumvention clause. Security researchers who have tried to reverse engineer Powered's decision tree hit a wall. Even jailbroken devices only expose the toggle, never the underlying weighting of temperature, cycle count, and voltage sag that determines when throttling kicks in. That weighting is the trade secret. And because it's classified as proprietary rather than safety critical, no regulator, not the DGCCRF, not the FTC, not the EU's new Digital Markets Act enforcers, has legal standing to compel Apple to publish it. They can find the silence. They cannot touch the algorithm. That's the loophole that makes it unstoppable. Transparency violations get punished, but the mechanism causing them is untouchable because it's never been classified as the product defect it functionally is. Which means if your iPhone has felt sluggish lately, there's no way for you to know why. You can check battery health in settings, but that number reflects capacity, not the actual throttling curve running underneath it. Your phone could be operating at reduced performance right now. silently, based on a formula Apple has never published, that no regulator has ever audited, running on hardware you already paid for. The toggle Apple added lets you turn off throttling and risk your phone shutting down without warning. That's the entire choice they built for you. Slow or unstable, nothing in between. And every iPhone sold since 2017 ships with this same architecture intact. So who actually benefits from a mechanism that degrades performance on devices already sold, encourages upgrades, and remains legally unreachable by every agency that's tried to open it? Apple has paid the fines. Apple has posted the disclosures. And the code that started this, the one nobody has ever fully seen, is still deciding, right now, how fast your phone is allowed to run.